A scam involving the murder of others facing federal charges. Investigators say a con man tried to fake his own death so he would not have to go to prison. Good evening. Joseph Callady has a history of breaking the law.
Well, more on that story in just a minute, but first we have some breaking news tonight. An off-duty police officer and another person were shot on the northwest side of Chicago tonight. It happened within the hour in the 4200 block of West Lawrence. Police are reporting that 5 men walked into a tavern there and tried to hold up the place. Shots were fired in the course of the robbery. The off-duty police officer was shot in the stomach. He is in serious condition. The condition of the other person who was shot is not exactly clear at this point. We do have crews on the scene to pass along more information during this newscast. John.
Diane, now back to the story on that fake death plot. If convicted, all 5 people charged in this case could be sentenced to death. The latest arrests were announced at a news conference tonight. Sarah Schulte has more on this case.
47-year-old William White made a living doing odd jobs. He lived in this north side apartment building. Last Sunday, White was brought to Joseph Callady's northwest side apartment under the pretense that Callady was looking for someone to house sit. But White never made it out alive. According to this federal complaint, Callady allegedly suffocated White in a scheme to fake his own death.
Mr. White was simply to give Mr. Callady an excuse to leave, to fool federal authorities into believing Callady was dead, so he would not face justice in this courthouse.
At the time, Callady was facing federal charges in an identification fraud case. He was out on bond, but was wearing an electronic monitor. The U.S. attorney says after White's murder, Callady allegedly took off the ankle bracelet and fled to Boston by car.
They took off at some point when obviously he left the vicinity of his home, so that was part of what tipped off authorities.
But U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald says it was the work of some federal authorities that put an end to Callady's final scheme. Just before White's body was to be cremated, federal agents went to check out the body to make sure it was Callady.
Federal authorities went down to the crematorium, looked in the box of the victim, and saw, instead of Joseph Callady, who weighed over 400 pounds, they saw a victim who had been killed who weighed approximately 165 pounds.
Federal agents tracked down Callady in Boston and charged him with murder. Also charges Callady's brother Michael, Raul Rodriguez, Dr. Gabriel Tagani, and Justin Smith. Authorities say all 4 helped with the scheme. Meantime, at White's apartment, friends and neighbors react to what the U.S. attorney is calling a bizarre, cold, and callous murder.
He was a sweetheart, and I hope they fry the guy that did it.
Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 News.
Well, now the latest on the attack on terrorism. The Taliban is on the run from the last stronghold in Afghanistan tonight. People who live in Kandahar are celebrating, flying the nation's old red, black, and green flag. Tribal leaders said they have the city under control now. Many Taliban fighters laid down their weapons when they surrendered the town today, but others tried to escape with their weapons, including one of their leaders. U.S. forces are going after them. Tonight, the search continues for the man considered the supreme Taliban leader. The White House believes Mullah Muhammad Omar is still somewhere in that town. So far, nobody in Kandahar can offer any information about where he might be. The interim prime minister there is promising to arrest Omar should he be found.
Well, a rare look tonight at how the CIA works in Afghanistan. A tape is out showing CIA agent Mike Spann hours before he was killed in an uprising by Taliban prisoners. The tape includes a segment in which Spann is seen trying to question John Walker. He's the American who allegedly fought alongside the Taliban.
If he needs decided he wants to live or die, die here. And if you don't want to die here, he's going to die here. We're just going to leave him on the prisoner. I'm sure it's his decision. We can only help those guys who want to talk to us. We can only get the Red Cross to help some of the guys. If they don't talk to us, we can't. We know
Walker kept quiet, and he was led back to join the other prisoners. Hours later, the uprising began. Spann was one of the first killed. Walker survived and is now in United States custody. Today, the Justice Department said Americans who have fought for the Taliban could face charges including treason, murder, and conspiracy. Right?
John, Today, the nation remembers the day 60 years ago when the attack on Pearl Harbor was carried out. 21 people who survived the attack went back to Honolulu to pay respects to their fallen comrades. The solemn ceremony takes place every year, but this year it has special significance. Many Americans are remembering September 11th along with December 7th. Chicago anniversary with a ceremony at Navy Pier. Ambrose Ferry is a survivor from Chicagoland. Their daily tossed a wreath onto Lake Michigan as a memorial to the victims of the attack.
Rhode Island, the first attempt to get the O'Hare expansion plan through Congress failed tonight. Senator Dick Durbin tried to persuade lawmakers to take a vote tonight, but Senator Peter Fitzgerald won the war of words. ABC 7's Andy Shaw joins us with a debate. Andy?
John and Diane, Senator Durbin says he had the votes to pass the aviation deal in the Senate as an amendment to a $30 billion defense bill. But when Senator Fitzgerald, who opposes the airport plan, launched a filibuster that threatened to go on all night, delaying a vote on the defense bill, Durbin grudgingly threw in the towel.
I feel very strongly about this issue, but I also feel very strongly about our responsibility in the Senate. I am prepared to save this battle for another day.
Senator Durbin conceding defeat in Washington, D.C. tonight. In his first attempt to put the multi-billion-dollar O'Hare Airport expansion deal, cut by Mayor Daley and Governor Ryan earlier this week, into federal law. Durbin throwing in the towel after Illinois' other senator, Peter Fitzgerald, who vehemently opposes the O'Hare runway plan, stages a mini filibuster for 2.5 hours, delaying a Senate vote on a $30 billion defense appropriation.
The reason they're coming to you is because they can't get approval of the state legislature. They didn't even try. And you're being asked at 9 o'clock at night, while our country is at war in Afghanistan, on a defense appropriations bill to debate this transportation issue. And clearly, I do not think that this is the appropriate forum.
But I certainly want to express my apologies to the Senate. I never believed for a moment that we would face a filibuster over this. In fact, I received assurances otherwise. That is not the case.
Durbin telling his Senate colleagues that he never would have tacked the aviation deal onto the defense bill if Fitzgerald hadn't promised not to filibuster.
I was told that there would be an up or down vote, and I was prepared to accept the outcome of that vote. Something has changed.
Well, Senator Fitzgerald says he might have talked all night to explain the shortcomings of the aviation deal not to filibuster, and he claims to have changed some votes in the process. Well, Senator Durbin is crying foul tonight and promising to give it another try next week with a different bill. No comment tonight from Chicago Mayor Richard Daley, who wanted that legislation desperately. It was hardball in Washington, and Mr. Fitzgerald wins round one.
But another round is certain to come.
It's like the World Series Game 1, many to go.
Thanks, Andy. Well, still ahead tonight, police have determined what set off that gunman who went on a shooting rampage at his job in a factory in Indiana. Plus the 911 call for help.
Also, a judge's ruling helps buy some time for steelworkers concerned about losing their jobs. And a taste of Germany in Chicago. James Ward shows us where to go for festive food and fun.
Vacation Week. Win a trip to Hawaii by playing the Hawaiian Vacation Sweepstakes on WheelOfFortune.com.
It's your chance to watch and win. Hawaii could be just a click away.
Wheel of Fortune, Monday at 6:30 on ABC.
ABC 7 News at 10 continues with Diane Burns, John Drury, weather with meteorologist Jerry Taft, and sports with Mark Jean Greco.
The 911 tapes are out tonight and reveal the terror of the workers trapped inside a factory in Indiana when a co-worker opened fire. The gunman is identified as 36-year-old Robert Whitman. Friends and some co-workers saying he was a nice man. They also said he was a good worker who just snapped. Police say Witzman was involved in a love triangle and started fighting with another man who worked there over a woman who also works there. Witzman was sent home from work and threatened to come back with a gun. Witnesses on the scene said the plant manager called police 2 hours before the shooting.
We have an employee in here with a gun shooting. Now, he went home earlier today because he was mad about something.
Anybody hurt?
We don't know what.
All right, stay on the phone here with me for just a minute.
We're in the office hiding under the police.
All right, hang on. The police are saying there is no record of any initial call for help. Witzman killed himself. He also killed the plant manager and wounded 6 other factory workers.
Diane, a judge's ruling will keep LTD steel mills in East Chicago and 2 other cities open for now. The company has until February 28th to find some way to stay afloat. The mills will remain in working order with fires burning at a low level, but most employees are being laid off. Steelworkers Union is trying to secure a $250 million federal loan to help the strapped company. Well, a deadly case of meningitis takes the life of a Northern Illinois University student. 21-year-old Mabruk Hussein Kandakar died yesterday at a hospital in DeKalb. Tests confirmed the student had a severe blood infection that causes bacterial meningitis. The college junior lived off campus. The health department is treating anyone who had close contact with the student.
What's up there? Tonight, Jerry Taft is standing by. He's looking for the first flurries of the season tonight and tomorrow. But first, this is the time of year to start thinking about that trek to get the presents in the mail. Some advice before you head to the post office.
Also, the market in Chicago that offers a little something for everyone this holiday season. James Ward is there, and in sports, the Bears rookie receiver is promising to right this week's wrongs this week against the Packers. Postal officials predict holiday shopping may make Monday their busiest day of the year. Lines weren't long today, but a crush of people and packages is expected next week. Despite heightened security, you can follow some basic rules. Use a strong box and seal it with shipping tape, not string or masking tape. Include the zip code, and don't wait until the last minute, Diane. Come on.
That's what they say every year. Well, the Catching Christmas market is underway at Daly Plaza. This marks year number 6. Food critic James Ward admits he has some catching up to do, so tonight he is sharing his first visit to the very festive event. James?
I am indeed, Chuck and Diane. You know, I usually check out the summer action at Daly Plaza, the farmers market, and so on, because it's a place where people gather from all over the city and suburbs. But for some reason, I didn't get to the big Kindle market until this year, and is it a Lulu? I won't miss another.
Willkommen, or welcome to Chicago's own zany version of an age-old German tradition. A Christmas market for children and kids of goodwill of all ages. It's a festive place for seasons, greetings, and eatings, as well as a meeting place for familiar holy days and holidays of Christmas and the creche, where the menorah salutes Hanukkah, while under a towering bomb, let's pause for Claus, as Santa greets one and all. And the Picasso looks over a wonderland of candy-striped foods and shops, and kiosks featuring German-style snack food or Schnackspeise. There's smoked pork loin as prepared in Flowing Potan, and ring the bell for delicious plump sausages. And the sauerkraut. Everything with sauerkraut, of course. And there's no fear of frying here. With sausages, schnitzels and more schnitzels, and potato pancakes, latkes for Hanukkah, all done up in oil. Except for the soups, goulash or sausage lentil, which you can top off with hot chocolate, or better, a beer in the warming house. And hey, how about the finality of marzipan, or a droolingly grippy chocolate-covered banana? If the food is fun, the rest is priceless. There's no shopping mall sameness here, but there are all kinds of one-of-a-kind, handmade trinkets and treasures, and objects and baubles, and acres of shimmering Xmas tree ornaments and ornamental bubbles. Beyond Germany, there's colorful glass from Poland, gifts from Russia and the Ukraine, leather goods from exotic Evanston, and woolies and goofy hats from Ecuador. Also, be sure to catch the trains and awesome display of toy trains and more in a golly gee whiz setting. Don't miss it, and don't miss the market. It's serious and silly, whimsical and inspirational. What a mix! Only in Chicago. So, how to say goodbye? Well, let's try. Shut up for now! Or, as they say in Germany, Merry Christmas! And Happy Hanukkah. May your dreidel always land on Gimel, and may a star light your way to a better new year. The Chris Kindle Market in Plaza and Block 43 runs through December 20th. Go, and again, ciao, ciao for now, John and Diane and Jerry.
Another James Word production. Very nice.
Full 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
This is Jerry's visit. Jerry was there.
I know Jerry was there.
I found out today that they stay open until 8 o'clock. So that's just in time for the dinner break.
A 9 on Friday.
That's pretty close.
That's all Jerry needs, a couple more drivers.
Packing them away. Every day it gets a little bit cooler out there. We had temperatures in the 60s a couple of days ago, 50s yesterday, 40s today, officially at O'Hare. 46 degrees, which is still way above normal, although it continues to feel cooler and cooler. But we were 9 degrees above normal, and tomorrow's high will be in the 30s, although it'll be a little bit warmer along the lakefront. Our high today, 46. It's starting to cool off a little bit along the East Coast, and they'll see temperatures tomorrow only in the 40s. Currently 41, mostly cloudy here in Chicago and Peoria, 37 in Springfield, 39 to Butte, and some very light precipitation to the west that is not reaching the ground. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground. Although later tonight and tomorrow morning, we could see a sprinkle or a flurry pass through the area, but that's about it. Right now, the wind north at 6 miles an hour. The humidity 79%, 41 at O'Hare, 46 still at the lake, 44 Midway, 38 over in New Buffalo, 41 in Long Grove. And of course, here you can see the clouds and this very light precipitation kind of moving in our direction. But again, it's so light that it's really not reaching the ground, but we're certainly getting the clouds overhead. If we put it into the computer, we'll see that the clouds kind of stick around tonight and most of tomorrow, although late in the day, we'll start to see the clouds recede, and we will see clearing skies tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, a lot of sunshine expected. But tomorrow, lots of clouds and highs in the upper 30s. So the forecast tonight, mainly cloudy, a sprinkle or a flurry later on tonight. Overnight low 34, although staying near 40 downtown. And then for tomorrow, cloudy and colder. Chance for a flurry, inland high around 37, and again near 40 here in the city. 39 on Sunday, where it will be sunny. 41 on Monday, 42 Tuesday, and a chance for a shower on Wednesday. So temperatures above normal over the next 5 days. A sunny Sunday.
You know that's paid out for last night.
Outstanding 5 day, which was that?
No, but except for the flurry.
That's fair. Just ahead of nothing in our breaking news story tonight.
That off-duty police officer shot. We have a live report.
And I'm Archie Greco. Coming up in sports, the Hawks and Islanders. Eric Daze's of Thunder. Stay with us.
Thumbs down. Find out on the next Ebert and Roper. Saturday, 10:35 on ABC 7.
And as our on-set sports expert, John Drew, said, this is game of the week.
It is, because it was in the New York Times.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes it official.
That makes it.
All right, well, as the Bears prepare to head into the biggest game of the year, one brash rookie is going to be looking for a little redemption, hoping to prove that he is the real deal. Offensive coordinator John Shoup wants to get David Terrell back on track after he dropped a couple of big touchdown passes last week. But from the sound of it, I don't think we have to worry too much about the top pick against the Pack.
I got my swagger back. I got my smile back. So I'm back now. Hey, I like the pressure. So, the pressure's on my back. I got to get the monkey off my back. So, hopefully this week I won't be climbing goalposts. I'll be throwing the ball in. We don't want Dave to go in the tank or anything and be thinking about, catching the ball in these last few games. You just got to go out there and relax and play this football. He's the number one draft pick, man. He got skills, got to go out there and do it. And we have confidence that Dave can go out there and do it. Don't blame.
Yep. Meanwhile, Mike Sherman and the Pack aren't buying that lucky team of destiny thing surrounding the Bears. One former Bear, in fact, thinks they'll need every bit of the Lambeau mystique to beat the Bears.
Well, I'm glad to have them at home. There's no question about that. But, they've been successful the last couple of years up here. So it's tough. There's going to be a lot of Chicago fans here in the stadium. And, we just got to play our best football.
Jim Flanagan. Blackhawks trying to vote the Islanders off United Center ice tonight. A nail-biter. You scream, I scream. We all scream for the videotape. Late in the first period, power play off the drive. Eric Daze is there. His 15th goal of the year to tie it up at 1. End of the second period, another power play. Daze crashes the net. And what do you know? He gets his 16th of the year, making 2-1. Then opening moments of the third, another power play. And you guessed it, another Daze tipping his second. The hat trick. But these lame fans can't decide whether to give up the catch. It's 4-3 Hawks with 36 seconds left. Wolves in Grand Rapids tonight, and oh baby, Wolves blew a 4-2 lead, and then in the last seconds here, they lose the puck to Kip Miller, who tries to pass it, and it hits off Dallas Aiken's skate and in for the game winner. Miller had 4 points. The Wolves lose 5-4. The Bulls visiting the Pacers tonight, and how much more can Tim Floyd's heart take? Crying out loud. Young, naive little Bulls fans there at Conseco Fieldhouse watching Reggie Miller shake Ron Mercer for the reverse. He got 15, and now look at this. Little Jamal Tinsley all alone on the fast break. 4 Bulls, get out of his way. What, are they afraid of him? Tinsley at 18, that is ridiculous. Jalen Rose did a little globetrotter blitz. Look at that pass to Jermaine O'Neal, 22 points, and the foul. Bulls lose again, 98-83. Baseball, Robin Ventura is hitting the highway again. They actually could just take the Triborough Bridge. The Mets traded the former White Sox to the Yankees for David Justice. There he'll replace the retired Scott Brocious at third. The Yankees also signed reliever Steve Karsig today. Briefly, Mike Tyson has canceled his upcoming fight with Ray Mercer to prepare for the champ Lennox Lewis in April. And finally, let's go back to Daze's hat trick. The Islander announcers were giving it to the Hawk fans for being so slow on the draw tonight, and you know what? Rightfully so.
I don't want to see the Hawks fans are a little slow, but he did score the after goal about 5 minutes ago.
That is just pathetic, isn't it? What kind of cut that? He should be giving that up right away.
Sometimes you're a little slow on the draw.
That's
It
right.
happens.
Yes. Well, they're not used.
Sometimes right here in this set.
Yep.
It can happen for the Bulls. Just ahead, the latest shooting on the northwest side.
We'll have a live report from the scene when we come back.
Stay with ABC 7 News.
An update on that breaking news story. An off-duty police officer and another person were shot tonight at a tavern on West Lawrence. Sarah Schulte is live on the phone. Sarah?
Well, John, this all went down just after 9 o'clock this evening at Flying Duck Tavern, as you mentioned, in the 4200 block of West Lawrence. Wouldn't say about 4 or 5 people walked in and attempted to rob the place. For an unknown reason, shots were fired. Just how many is not known. An off-duty Chicago police officer was hit in the stomach, as well as a patron who is considered a regular at this bar. The condition of that person, who is a male at this hour, is not known. The off-duty cop was taken to Illinois Masonic. He is listed in serious condition. We do know the police spokesperson is on his way to that hospital. Here at the scene, we're in the process of taking witnesses down to the police station. There is no further information on the suspects at this point. We do know the police are still looking for them. That's the very latest here, live at 4200 block of West Lawrence. Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 News. John and Diane, back to you.
Well, that's our report. Excuse my pardon. That's our report for tonight. Nightline is next here on Channel 7. I'm John Drury.
I'm Diane Burns. Thank you us all week for Marching Greco, Jerry Taft, and everybody here. Have a great weekend.